Crystal here. I'm back with another review video for you guys, and a couple of things I want to disclaim in the beginning of this video before getting started. Like most of my videos, this is a somewhat sponsored video. Wish Trend recently released this product onto their website and they sent it over to me, and I had the honor of trying it out, and I decided that I wanted to give my 100% honest opinions of this product. They didn't ask me to review it, but I decided to go ahead and review it because I thought it was just an interesting product. So that is one thing I want to mention. The other thing is that I actually left it at my parents' house, so I don't have it with me currently, so I can't really showcase it here, but you'll just have to make do with my wailing arms and clips and snippets of the product. So let's go ahead and get started. The product that I want to talk about is Dear Klairs Fundamental Water Gel Cream. You can get it on wishtrend.com's website for $31 US. There is 70 milliliters of product inside of it, and it is actually a cruelty-free and vegan-friendly product. Has 7.3 to 9.3 pH level, and it's meant for all skin types. This cream is a gel moisturizer and is meant to provide and fulfill the basics of moisture in skincare. The formula consists of Jeju green tea water and panthenol to provide moisture and deep hydration with a lightweight finish. So now that you know a little bit about the product, let's go ahead and talk about how you would basically use this product. It is self-explanatory. It's a moisturizer, right? So typically you would want to use it at the end of your skincare routine, either in the morning or at night. For me, I basically used it both morning and night, and like I said, used it at the very end. So my basic skincare at the moment consists of double cleansing if I need to, but cleanser, toner, and any serums that I feel like my skin might need. Sometimes I skip the serum altogether if I feel like I don't really need it for that day or night. So I would go serum and then the gel cream moisturizer, and during the day I like to use the gel cream and then sunscreen. However, sometimes it could feel a little bit heavy just because you're having total moisture and then sunscreen on top, so I go very light-handed with the moisturizer before I put the sunscreen on, just so I don't feel like I'm overloading my skin. But for the most part, the moisturizer should be used at the end so that it can lock in everything that you used before that and provide additional moisture and hydration to your face or skin. But yeah, so that's basically how I would use the moisturizer, and we're gonna go ahead and roll over to my first impression of the gel cream. Hey guys, so it is my first time using the Klairs Fundamental Water Gel Cream, and this was recently released by Wish Trend, so I'm excited to try this out. This is the state of my current skin right now. And I just washed it, or I just cleansed. I also exfoliated and I toned. So this is basically my last step in the skincare right now, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go in. And it's like super watery. I don't know if I can show you without spilling anything, so I don't want to spill it out, but there's no scent to it, which is really, really nice. It's a very light and thin texture. Like, I can't even feel it on my finger right now. And you can see, like, it's like dribbling down almost like water, just slightly thicker than water. I'm just going to go ahead and apply this. Okay, so right off the bat, my skin feels really hydrated, which is really, really nice. It applied very smoothly. It glided on just fine. There was like no extra tugging or pulling or friction or anything like that. It also absorbed quite quickly into my skin as well. So yeah, my skin really drank up this cream. I'm going to go to bed and then check on my skin tomorrow morning and see how my skin took with this gel cream. So we'll check in then. But I really like the fact that there's like no scent to it and how easy it was to apply and how quick it absorbs. So far so good. The day after of using the water gel cream for the first time, and this is what my face looks like after waking up. For the most part, it is pretty normal. I do have a little whitehead right here, but I feel like that's been something that's growing and not because of the gel cream. But so far, my face still feels really hydrated and moisturized. I didn't wake up with like dry feeling skin or flakiness at all, and my skin still looks like really plump, if that's a good explanation. I think my skin looks pretty full at the moment, so I actually really like the way my skin looks right now with just waking up from using the water gel cream. So I'm going to use it a little bit longer and get back to you guys on that. Alright, so now that you guys know what my first impression of the Fundamental Water Gel Cream is, let's go ahead and talk about my 2-week impression, and we always jump into the pros or what I liked about the product. So the first thing that I really liked about the product is, of course, the first thing you might notice when you open a product is the scent. There is no scent to this cream at all. It's scentless, not even a subtle hint of any kind of scent to it. It's totally scentless. So all of my friends that really don't like perfumey moisturizers or they get headaches from the scent or anything like that, this moisturizer does not have any smell to it. I also want to talk about the texture of it. Like stated in the title or the label of the product, it is a gel cream. So it has a gel texture, and I honestly really like gel textures because it's not too heavy and thick where I feel like I'm pulling and tugging at my face just to spread it on my face. Because it's a gel texture, it glides on so beautifully and so effortlessly that I don't have to worry about giving myself premature wrinkles just because it's just so easy to just glide on. And of course, the most important part of the formula, like the name basically advertises, it's extremely hydrating and very, very moisturizing. Out of all the moisturizers I've ever used in my entire life, this has got to be the most hydrating and moisturizing moisturizer ever. And on top of that, it's super lightweight. It doesn't feel like it's pulling your pores down, weighing your pores, clogging it up, or anything like that, while still being able to maintain and protect the moisture barrier of your skin. And sometimes when I use a moisturizer at night and I wake up, my skin feels dry, like all the moisture was just sucked out during my sleep. But when I wake up with this moisturizer, I didn't feel that at all. My skin still felt extremely hydrated and moisturized throughout the entire day or throughout the entire night, as if it was the first time I applied the moisturizer. So I'm really genuinely and thoroughly impressed with the formula and how well it was able to maintain moisture and hydration onto my skin for hours and hours. I also want to note that it's non-greasy, didn't feel greasy or look too greasy on my skin when I apply it or throughout the day. And it was also very, very fast absorbing into my skin. I think, like I mentioned before, I've tried a lot of moisturizers. This one had to be my skin's favorite moisturizer yet because it just absorbed into my pores so nicely and quickly. I loved it. I think it also made my skin look pretty dewy for the most part, just because it's so hydrating. So it has a really dewy look to it, and it also made my skin look quite plump because it was just full of moisture and hydration. Like I said before, it also lasts all day in hydration and moisture, and it works well in I think all the seasons so far. I've only got to try it in the summer, and it has worked well in dry heat, in hot heat, and in humidity heat. So it has fared well in all of those. I'm excited to know how it would fare well in like the fall or the winter, but I actually have extremely high hopes for it just because my skin felt pretty good in the like dry heat. Like sometimes we have like hot waves and my skin gets really dry from that, and it has done extremely well for my skin so far. So I do have really high expectations for the winter time. And the most important quality of a skincare product to me yet is that it didn't break me out at all. So we talked a lot about what I really liked about the moisturizer. I don't have that many cons or what I didn't like about the moisturizer. I only have like 2 things, and they're like not that big of a deal, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. Sometimes the area around my nose, strictly just around my nose, does look a little bit oily, but that's about it. Other than that, my whole face looks fine, no grease, no oil or anything, just slightly around my nose on certain days. I don't know exactly when that happens. I can't pinpoint the pattern of why that happens, so I don't know if it has anything to do with like the temperature, the weather, or just the condition of my skin. But literally just the outline of my nose right here is when it looks oily, but like that's when I wake up from my sleep and that's when it happens. Throughout the day, it doesn't really happen during the daytime. I also want to note the other thing I don't really enjoy or not a big fan of is that it is a little sticky. I think it works well with makeup just because it's super hydrating and moisturizing. So it's like almost like a nice primer as well because it's a little sticky, but if you're just using the moisturizer alone and not putting any sunscreen or makeup because you're not leaving the house or anything like that, it can be a little sticky. Sometimes when I have a fan blowing, my little baby hairs stick to my face because of the moisturizer, but other than that, those are the only qualities I can think of that I'm not entirely that big of a fan of. But just in case you are interested, I'm going to go ahead and show the clips of my skin when I first used it and compare it to my 2-week impression of my face so that you can see how my skin fared. I do want to point out that the first week and a half that I was using the moisturizer, my skin was actually healing and I didn't break out at all. And moisture is actually an important aspect of your skin in terms of basically everything, like acne and scarring and whatnot. Like moisture plays a huge role in your skin, and I really noticed that when I used this moisturizer because I wasn't really breaking out as much as I usually did. But around the 2-week mark, I started to break out a little bit slightly just because of hormonal breakouts, you know, like that lovely friend we girls get every month. Just broke out because of that, but it had nothing to do with the cream. With that being said, would I recommend this moisturizer? I actually highly recommend this moisturizer. There's no gimmicks to it. There's no extra steps it needs to take to prove a point. It states that it just solely does the basics of moisture to your skincare, and that's it. And that's exactly what it did. And that's what I really liked about the moisturizer, because I didn't feel like it was trying to be gimmicky. I didn't feel like it was trying to be extra. It was point blank moisturizing, hydration, and that's all I do, and that was my goal, and I achieved that goal, and that's it. That's what I really liked about the moisturizer. On top of that, it's pretty affordable, $31 for the gel cream. It's not that bad because I recently bought a cream that was like almost $50, and I actually prefer this moisturizer over that moisturizer. So that's saying a lot. I feel like the price is justified. I feel like the product is justified. Everything about the cream I really liked. So like I said, the 2 cons that I mentioned, livable. It's really nothing compared to like the pros. Like the pros outweigh the cons, of course, for this cream. And the fact that it was able to even rescue my skin in dry heat when I was flaking, because I do experience both super dry skin and super oily skin, and it was able to combat both aspects of my skin when it was going through those phases. Just genuinely impressed me. So yeah, I really liked this moisturizer, and I really liked how affordable it was compared to the other moisturizer I recently bought. So yeah, I think that if you are in the market for a moisturizer that you don't really need extra like oomph to, you just need the basics of it, I highly encourage you to check out this moisturizer. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video up here. If you have any questions or concerns, definitely ask your questions or let out your concerns in the comment section down below. I always try my best to respond to all the comments. And if you found this video really helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next review video. Thank you so much for watching.